I don't have any exact numbers to flesh this out, but it seems to me that we have reached another period of peak race hustling. Of course, the race hustlers are always out there skulking and crawling about, but there are seasons when they are less active, and then there are seasons when they're more active, much like deer ticks or other blood-sucking parasitic life forms. In that ebb and flow cycle, it would appear that we are now in a time of flow. The disingenuous tears of racial self-victimization are certainly flowing as furiously as they ever have before, which is why, over the past few weeks, when it comes time for the daily cancellation, often the toughest choice is to decide which racial grievance-mongering phony I'll focus on. Though today, I think there is one who really stands out from the rest, and that is Mark Curry. Mark Curry is a former 90s sitcom actor who, over the last couple of decades, has fallen into near total obscurity, and he now tours the country as an alleged comedian, searching for the most undiscerning crowds to perform in front of. He's struggled to gain attention or publicity through the strength of his comedy, and I'm assuming that's why he's decided to just finally cash in his victim tokens at the prize counter and take what he can get for them. And he has been able to get something. He's gotten some headlines out of it. He's gotten some pity. He'll probably get a lawsuit. Here's the story from NBC News. It says, comedian Mark Curry accused a Colorado hotel staffer of racially profiling him as he sat in the lobby, an incident that prompted outrage from celebrities and a promise from the establishment to refund him after the actor posted video of the alleged encounter on Instagram. Curry, who starred in ABC's Hangin' with Mr. Cooper from 1992 to 1997, was staying at the Mining Exchange in Colorado Springs. He was in the city for performances at 3E's Comedy Club on Friday and Saturday. Curry was drinking coffee when he said the employee asked him if he was a guest. He also informed him the lobby was private, the comedian said, according to the video. NBC News does not know what happened before Curry started recording. Well, of course they don't. Because one thing we know about almost any video relating to a supposed racism controversy is that the video always picks up in the middle of the exchange or the incident. We're never told what happened beforehand. And before we play some of this out-of-context video for you, here's the hotel's response. NBC News reports again, "We are committed to providing a safe and inclusive space for all guests and employees," the statement read. "We deeply regret this incident and have reached out to Mr. Curry to offer not only our sincere apologies, but a full refund of his stay and an invitation to return at no cost anytime in the future. As a respected community partner, we are also using this opportunity to revisit training with our staff, helping to ensure all interactions are reflective of our company." Wyndham Hotels and Resorts issued a similar statement. The Mining Exchange is a Wyndham hotel. Quote, "The hotel's owner and management team are working to make this right," the company wrote on Twitter on Sunday. So they deeply regret the incident. And it is indeed regrettable, but not because of the employee's behavior. Even in spite of the out-of-context nature of this video and the sketchy details about what exactly precipitated it, we still can clearly identify the bad guy in this situation. Now, this goes on for about 25 minutes, but I'll show you about 2 minutes of it. Here's the first 2 minutes, and here it is.
All right, so the problem is I'm in a hotel lobby, and this man wants to see, I don't know what's the...
if you're a guest.
Huh?
I'm just asking if you're a guest.
And I'm asking, are you a guest?
And he said, no, I'm an employee.
Well, let me see some ID. You got your backup. How you doing, backup? Does he speak? Hello, backup. John, you've been here for 15 minutes.
No, sir, I've not been here.
Okay, well, we're gonna put you. All right. People, he's asking me for I can't be in the hotel lobby. This hotel lobby, you cannot be in this hotel lobby if you're black and you're in Colorado Springs. So if you're black and you're in Colorado Springs, you can't be in the lobby. Wow, this is crazy, isn't it? So check it out. Oh yeah.
Yep, that's the only reason.
Yeah. Look, they got a black man in Colorado Springs, so they send this dude. Look. Yeah. Oh yeah. The one he talks now. He talks. Yeah. Yeah. So a black man can't be.
Pull the race card.
Yeah. I'm trying to pull a race card, boy. So we got an Uncle Tom calling me, say I'm doing the race card, but he hanging with this dude. This is what it's all about, people. He called me the race car.
Called you anything, sir. We haven't called you anything.
Yeah.
No, sir. I've asked you very politely.
What'd you ask me, sir? I can't
Are
hear.
you a guest of the hotel?
I can't hear you. Say it again.
You heard me.
I couldn't hear you. My hard of hearing. And then, brother,
What are we on TikTok or Facebook? Which one is it?
he a brother. Look, he a brother, but he hanging with the white man, saying I'm pulling a race car. Look at the way this look. He need a race car.
Now, as I said, that continues for 20 more minutes as Mark Curry, the victim, quote unquote, becomes more and more belligerent, shouting and cussing at the hotel employees who are simply trying to do their jobs. Curry posted this video to Instagram along with the name of one of the hotel employees and the hotel's phone number. He sent an angry mob after the establishment. Many prominent people joined in the mob, celebrities coming to Curry's defense, expressing their support for him during this difficult and traumatic time. And yet anybody with ears and a brain to go between them can watch this and clearly see that the bad guy in this scenario is Curry himself. I mean, how morally deranged do you have to be as an individual to watch that and think that the guy holding the camera is the good guy? In fact, Curry's not only the bad guy, but he's also the racist one in the exchange. He repeatedly mocks one of the hotel workers, who's also black, calling him an Uncle Tom, making fun of the way he looks. He is screaming racial slurs at the hotel staff while claiming to be the racism victim in the conversation. And all of this simply because he was asked if he was a guest at the hotel. He could have answered and said yes, and the conversation would have been over. That's all you had to do. Instead, he turned this low-stakes, totally normal interaction into a 30-minute argument, and then turned the 30-minute argument into a national backlash. That automatically makes him not only the bad guy here, but an a-hole of gargantuan proportions. And the fact that he's doing all this to some random low-paid service industry workers only makes him even more of a sociopath. By the way, I have at least twice in my life, okay, I'll go on the record. Twice in my life at least, I have been approached by staff members at a hotel and asked a similar question. On one occasion, I was sitting in a hotel lobby and I was asked whether I was a guest, and the answer was no, because I was actually just there to steal their Wi-Fi, to be honest. On another occasion, the answer was yes, I was a guest and I was innocent of any crime. On both occasions, I simply answered the question. That's it. I wasn't interested in getting into an argument with hotel employees. I didn't see it as a publicity opportunity. And even though I was slightly embarrassed on the first occasion when I was essentially thrown out, I had no desire to exact vengeance or send an angry mob after them. Neither incident seemed, important or interesting to me, which is why I never mentioned them until just now. It's true that hotel workers, in my experience, normally won't ask you what you're doing in the lobby. But if you sit in enough hotel lobbies, you'll likely be questioned at least once or twice in your life. In Mark Curry's case, considering how shocked and offended he was, we can assume that this was the first time he'd ever encountered this line of questioning. So when he says, oh, black man can't go anywhere in America, well, according to you, you could go anywhere. This is the first time this has ever happened to you, which is why you're making such a big deal out of it. Which means in the anecdotal comparison, by the way, I have had this experience twice as many times as he has. The only difference is that I don't have a reflexive racial filter to feed every experience through. So if somebody says something to me, whatever it is, I don't immediately think, hey, he just said that to a white man. I don't think that. Okay? Instead, I think, hey, he just said that to me. Okay, you see the difference? Now, I am, of course, aware that I'm a white man. I'm happy to be a white man because that's part of my identity. I'm proud to be who I am. But I don't solely think of myself as a faceless representative of a racial category. When I walk about in my life and I'm operating and doing things, I don't think I am a white man doing all of these things. Like I'm some sort of agent, some sort of PR rep for whiteness. And so if I perceive myself to be treated unfairly in a given situation, I will not automatically assume that the treatment was racially based. I will cycle through any number of potential explanations. First, I'll wonder if the individual just doesn't like me personally. You got to think about that first. Like it's if people are treating you a certain way, maybe they just don't like you. Maybe it's you that maybe you're the problem. Or perhaps they're having a bad day, or perhaps they're simply incompetent, or perhaps you weren't treated unfairly at all, or perhaps any number of other explanations. And if there is specific evidence that I was the victim of racism, then I'll take that into consideration. I'm not going to rule it out, but of course it's not going to be my first assumption. It's not going to be my first, last, and only theory, because I'm aware that I am more than a racial category, and so is the other person in the exchange, and I'm aware that life is complicated and people are fueled by many different kinds of motivations. But race hustlers are conditioned, or have conditioned themselves, to see themselves as nothing more than racial representatives, and to see everyone else in the same light, and to see every interracial interaction as a contest between those racial categories. That's why Mark Curry declared during that exchange that a black man can't go nowhere in America, because he sees himself as that, a black man. Just that, just a black man. Not Mark Curry, okay? Not Mark Curry. This isn't happening to Mark Curry. They're doing this to Mark Curry. He didn't say that. It's simply a black man, just a generic black man. It's not Mark Curry being asked to produce his room key. It's a black man being asked to produce his room key. That's how he sees it, or pretends to see it, because it is more profitable for him to see life that way. Indeed, Mark Curry has not had much success recently simply being Mark Curry. Nobody cares much about Mark Curry or wants to hear his lame stand-up comedy. But when he becomes a black man, generically, that faceless representative of a racial category, that's when he gets the attention he so deeply craves. And that's what this is all about. And it's why Mark Curry, who happens to be a black man, is today canceled. And that'll do it for us for this portion of the show. As we move over to the members block, hope to see you there. If not, talk to you tomorrow. Godspeed.